Hi, that was our Green, that is our river trip. What you've just seen was the map of the Green River, and on the left is never mind. Going down the hill, taxi's taking us down. We're driving down in a van with towing a trailer with the kayaks on there. And here you see the river. It's an awesome sight to go down over the mountainside, and by now we've launched the kayaks and packed them with all the stuff for the next 4 or 5 days. And we're on the river, floating down. At first the weather was cold and the water was pretty choppy. It didn't take any pictures during that time. But now we're getting a little closer to the first campground probably. Yeah, here we are. We've pulled our kayaks up to shore and established the first night camp. It was a beautiful place with some hieroglyphs from the Indians. Bob spotted those, and now we've packed up and we're about to leave, and that's the second day. We're leaving our campsite. As you can see, the water is pretty muddy, and the embankment is also not very pleasant to step around in. It's pretty gooey. Now this will be the second day, and the weather is starting to get a little nicer. And you see the puffy clouds, and as we're drifting down the Green River. And this would be yours truly in the green boat. And there is John Morton, Renee Toft, and Bob Hammond. 4 of us are doing that. The Green River is in Utah, and it flows into the Colorado. It's about 50 miles. Now what you see here on the left is a hill we're going to climb up on top, and here we have already gone halfway up. There's a cabin left from way back. Who knows who built that? Now we're on top of that mountain top, and it's a beautiful view. You can see the river. This will be the downward portion of the river, and to your left, it's pretty hard to see, is yeah, this is the part where the river goes south, and so that makes a big loop, and you can see that in the front of the map. It's so hard to ascertain, but you can see it there. Now, yeah, we're back down, and we're looking up. This is the top of the mountain with the Indian building on top of there. It was some kind of sacrificial building. We're turning the corner. We're completing the loop and pulling away from the mountain just climbed. Now this must be our second night, second campsite. This time we were a little smarter. We found a sandbar and pulled the kayak up to it, and it was a beautiful campsite. Easier to get to than the first one. And as you will see, it's still pretty cold. Now that's still the first evening, and of course we get to build a fire in the fire pan. What you see here is frost on top of the kayak. That is in the morning, and there's John, and in the background you see the sun coming up. And so this would be the second day. And just the scenery is just getting more and more beautiful as we move down the river. That's my boat you see there. Most of those pictures taken with my little digital camera. And later on we'll include some of Bob's pictures and redo the whole thing. So that was the third day. This would be the third day. And a lot of these mountains, they do have names, and I don't have them in front of me right now, but so now we're still going down the river on the third day. You'll probably see Renee with the yellow kayak, the Quest. There, that is Bob with his two-tone color, two-tone, and it's just beautiful the way the clouds are in the river. But as you notice, the river, it's not clear water. There's a lot of sediment in there, but it doesn't detract from the beauty of the whole thing. And oh, now we're up on land, and we were doing a hike and probably overlooking the river here. And yeah, maybe we're back on the river here. This John Seda sticking up here. Beautiful, beautiful, just beautiful scenery. And there's Renee and the Quest. John Morton, oh John, that's Bob and Renee. I think this has a name, probably the Sphinx. That was the third night camping. Here again was an easy way to pull the kayaks up. Now this is in the evening and the sun is just barely shining on it, and just makes an awful nice picture. Yeah, couldn't get enough of that. It's awesome. One more time. Now that must be the fourth night camping. And here we're probably departing. I'm already in the water. I was trying to keep my feet clean, and so the guys helped me push my kayak off, and so I could paddle in these without dragging all the mud in there, because the riverbanks were full of mud. I mean, it's just the way to go there. Going downstream. As you can see, there was no wind at this point. The water was flat. And we take a leisure paddle. Now if you look close, there's a little Indian, there's a leftover Indian residence. Maybe they used it to store grain. Some of them they store grain, but this probably was a refuge. Built right into the mountain. And we had passed a few of these before. We didn't get pictures off. That is the material they made the tools from, and this whole area was covered with these chips of rocks. And Bob has the name for it. I've got to ask him. And we can get it down. And we're back paddling some more. This is the first day we all got to take a shower, or at least a bath. The water was pretty cold. It's I'm not sure what the temperature was, but it was ice cold. We're going for a hike. Trying to investigate some other. We're trying to find another Indian residence, and it's pretty hard. They're pretty hard to see sometimes, but we did spot some more. this is at Spanish Bottom, and we're not allowed to go any further than that because there's too many rapids and you can't be retrieved back there. That was a 1,200 feet climb on top of the mountain there, and it's called the Dollhouse. And probably because of the structure of the rocks, they, as you see later on, they look like they're just somebody just played and put a bunch of rocks together and made them appear like a dollhouse. That will be the granary where the Indians store grain, and we'll see that later on as we get a little closer. Some more pictures of the dollhouse. There's also a campground up there, and here we go, that's the dollhouse. There's a campground, and it takes about 4 hours to drive in. We had spoken to a ranger who just ended up there. Beautiful flowers. It's just maybe in another 2 weeks everything will be just beautiful. And here is grain storage from the Indians. That's under this big rock, under this shelf, and it's called the granary. That's where the name came from. And this is the Hidden Valley, or Surprise Valley, I believe it is. And it's amazing. Looking down, we're seeing this valley down there, and had no idea it was there. Now we're probably, this is the way to the dollhouse, and you got to go through the crevice in the mountain. There's John in the background. It's very hard to see him. And as I ran out of film there, and this is our return trip. That's the shuttle which picked us up on the Colorado River.